Happy New Year, everyone. So it's chilly. I've been fighting off a cold for a minute now, so I'm gonna make my crock pot roast because that just sounds really wonderful and comforting. But I need to grab a couple things from the garden real quick. All right, I need some carrots. Let's see if we can find any good ones in here. Oh, that looks like a good one. It's all right. You can kind of check the progress of your carrots. If you scrape away just a little bit of the dirt, you can expose the top of it. Oh, now that's a nice one. Oh yeah. Let me get the one right next to it too. Oh, they're looking good this year. This is my first carrot harvest of the year. We grow them through winter because summers and springs are honestly too warm. It goes from spring to summer very, very fast. Still not bad. Let's check another spot. These are my purple carrots, and they are very slow going. Really not much development yet. I've got a few more over here, and I did plant them at different times to stagger the harvest, so that's probably why these are a little behind. They were planted later. But yeah, they're not really showing much development yet. I do think I have some over here that I missed when I was thinning, so they're all clumped together. So I might just take something from them. Yep. See if there's anything worth taking over here to give them a little more room to grow. Come on. I know you're gonna be tiny. Yeah. I'll take this one too. Give the others a chance to get bigger. That was the one that was growing close together. You can see they were kind of starting to stick together a little bit there. But the other one should have a better chance to grow now. That should be good enough for dinner. I will say when you harvest carrots, remove the tops pretty much immediately because they will actually draw some of the sugars out of the carrot if you leave them on top. So you will have a sweeter carrot if you remove the tops. I think I'm going to need some parsley. I don't want to go too crazy because it is winter, so it's growing very slow, and I don't want to completely cut back. That should be good, and I have some dried stuff inside if I need more. No signs of cauliflower starting yet. I should still have some frozen in the freezer, so I'll have to check that. Use up what's frozen since this isn't ready yet. That's okay. Yeah, I know I could use these greens, but I don't need them. I don't want them right now, so we're gonna go to the chickens. Good morning, ladies. You want some fresh greens? Oh yeah, that's nice. Okay, and I think I have some potatoes. Yep. I used some of the potatoes I harvested earlier. And let's find that cauliflower. Right on top. I need this one. All right, so I don't really have a recipe for you because honestly, this thing changes every single time I make it. I never make it the same. Layla, your drinking is kind of loud, baby. I know. Oh, thank you for dripping on my floor. Yes, you're very cute. Okay, but you don't need to be in the kitchen while I'm doing this. Okay, go on. Go on. All right. So, as I was saying, she wants to get into her kennel, but the door is closed. Oh, is your toy in there? There you go. There you go. You happy now? All right. So, let's try this again. Like I was saying, I don't have a recipe. It's never the same. I just kind of wing it for whatever I have on hand or whatever sounds good at the time. So I don't really have a recipe for you to follow, but I figured I'd show you how I kind of make up my crock pot roast, or pork tenderloin in the crock pot, as one of my go-to easy comfort foods. I usually get a pork tenderloin. I asked my husband to pick one up, told him I don't care if it's marinated or not. If you see one that's marinated that you like the sound of, go ahead and get it. So he came home with rotisserie chicken flavor. Haven't tried that one before. So we're going to go with that. If it was just a plain one, then I would have marinated it myself. Not a big deal. Now I am going to sear the meat this time. I don't always sear the meat. It really depends on how much time I have in the morning, because I do set this up in the morning so it can cook on low all day and be ready for dinner time. But since it's New Year's Day, I have a little extra time this morning. I'm going to go ahead and sear the meat before putting it in the crock pot. That cauliflower I took out is going to be added later, so I'm just going to let it sit and thaw a little bit so it doesn't make the broth too cold when I add it later. Yeah, let's get started. My crock pot is small. She is old. She's Old Faithful. She's nothing fancy. We got a whole lot of settings of keep warm, low, and high. That's all she's got. But you know what? She's been good to me. So let me start prepping things. All right, I'm not entirely sure where my camera stand is, so hopefully this works okay. You're precariously propped up. But I'm gonna make my broth first. I start with beef broth, and I have a few staples I like to put into it, but for the most part, I just keep tasting it until I get kind of what I'm looking for. I'm gonna use garlic powder. We used the last of the garlic the other day that I grew from my garden, so good thing I'm growing a lot more for next year's harvest. But I'm just gonna start pouring and tasting. Some chopped onion. Healthy amount of garlic. Fresh is ideal. I actually like to stuff garlic into the meat, like chopped up garlic cloves into cuts of the meat, but it is what it is. Fresh parsley that I just grabbed from outside. I'm just breaking it up in my hands. I always add rosemary. That's one of the few things that never changes. Would prefer fresh, but I don't have a rosemary plant. It did not survive, so dried it is. Dash of Italian seasoning. And then Worcestershire sauce. A little bit of pepper. And just a dash of salt. Needs oregano. And just a little bit of dried basil. Okay, and that's what we're looking like. I just kept adding the taste. Like I said, I feel like this would go good with a rotisserie chicken marinade that the meat is already kind of coated in. Done every type of marinade before this, but haven't tried this one, so we shall see. But everything's just to taste. I think that's a good base to work with. So I'm going to chop up the vegetables, cut the meat into smaller pieces because it's too large to fit in my teeny tiny little crock pot, but it's just the two of us, so this crock pot's plenty big enough. And then sear the meat. Now, all the vegetables have been washed, so I'm just going to chop them up into bite-sized pieces and add them to my crock pot. Oh yeah, that's looking nice. I did grab too many carrots, so those are going to be dog tacks. And a tip to keep carrots fresh is wrap them in a damp paper towel and put them in a container or a bag and put them in the fridge. It'll keep them from getting rubbery. Yep, just like that. I love these silicone resealable plastic bags. So much less waste. Okay, dog tacks for dog number 1. There you go, and 2. They love the carrot tacks. Part of the mess, leftover Christmas stuff. Was it super yummy? Was that so good? Nola, did you even taste it? Oh, it's still there. Okay, enjoy. Okay, I need to cut this up into slightly smaller pieces so it'll fit in my crock pot before I sear it. The oven going. Okay, put a little bit of olive oil in here just so it doesn't burn. While I wait for that to heat up, searing the meat before putting it into the crock pot just kind of locks in some of those flavors and some of that moisture so it doesn't get all sucked out. But even if you don't sear with this, it's going to be fall apart, melt in your mouth good. So you don't have to sear, but I have the time, so I'm going to do it this time and see if it makes a difference with this marinade, because I have a feeling this is a very mild marinade, but we'll see. That feels pretty warm. And that's it. Just a quick sear on all the sides. You can tell the sear is done, especially if you're using cast iron, because it releases from the pan really easily. And now I just need to put it in the crock pot and make sure there's enough liquid in there to cover everything. Sorry, background commentary. Ladies, I'm trying to film. Sorry about the background noise. I don't think it's going to stop. It's getting giddy through all the veggies. Alright. In a couple hours before this is done, I will add the cauliflower because it does cook faster. And even if that's not fully thawed by then, that's fine. Alright, so I'm just going to turn it to low. Get it covered. Now, I wish I could tell you how long to cook it on low. Every crock pot is different. I know mine will take about 6 to 8 hours to get to where I want it to be. I usually just check the internal temperature of the meat until it is about 145, 150. Oh, my house smells amazing right now. This has been cooking for about 4.5, 5 hours. So I am going to go add the cauliflower. Just plop those right in. They've pretty much thawed now. A little bit of ice crystals here and there, but not too bad. Alright, just stir those in a little bit, make sure everything gets decently covered. And I will see you at dinner. Been about 7.5 hours, and man, does that look good. That meat just shredded itself. myself a nice little bowl. Time for a taste test. That's what I needed. Well, thanks for joining me. Happy New Year's, and may 2025 be everyone's best year.